We're live. What's up, everyone? One Piece chapter 1552. Oh my god. It took me a second to figure it out. So, where do we start? So, do you guys want to start with the One Piece chapter or do you want to rant about Odyssey?
I want to start with the chapter.
Okay. So key points, three key points. Luffy and Zoro awake. No consequences seem to be the case, but we might see Luffy not being able to use his rubber fruit as a consequence. And as for Zoro, he might literally be what's called almost how he was when he was stabbed by Buggy, where he needed a long time to recover from that. If Zoro recovers in an instant, I call bullshit. Then this whole medicine is gonna give you punishment worse than death is nonsense. Um,
Was he that injured against Buggy? I think it was worse when he fought Mihawk.
that makes no sense. Oh, yeah, it makes sense. True. You're correct. I remember it was Buggy that added to the damage. The damage was done by Mihawk, thank you. Correct. Um, Yamato was already acting as of a Straw Hat,
Yep.
and and Luffy doesn't seem they've not said anything, and Luffy have my finally for real being a Yonko now next to Kid or Law. I don't see Law and Kid being a Yonko
They are.
together. Y- y-
Well,
uh, it's called Yonko for a reason. You need five to be Yonko. I gotta
no,
change it
four.
to Jonko Gonko. Oh, sorry, four.
Yeah, but Luffy was already called unofficially the fifth Yonko, so that's possible. And they said that there were multiple Yonko, so it's
Mm-hmm.
not just Luffy who's considered one. So I'd say that Kid and Law will be treated as one as well. So I
You
think
think
there's
so?
going to be three.
You think it's official then? All of them are Yonkos. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
It
Because
would
now
make
they're
sense
gonna be
considering,
rivals to the One Piece.
I
Uh,
mean, they're already rivals.
Mm,
Like
Law
Law, I
was,
don't know what Law's doing, but Kid is definitely like, I'm doing my own thing and like
yeah.
also going for the One Piece.
My focus is Law. What is Law doing? What is Law gonna do?
I mean,
Law is such a beloved character by the fandom. I don't see him being turning evil or even double cross Luffy. I just don't.
I think it has to be.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead, we.
Sorry. No, I just would say being a rival doesn't mean that you're turning evil. I mean, if he could just be competing for the same thing, and the best man may win. But I have a feeling that Law doesn't really have an interest in the One Piece anymore. Kid does definitely. So they're gonna compete, but I mean, it doesn't necessarily. I don't think they're gonna be competing on like they're gonna try to kill each other or whatever, right? I mean, I think they're gonna be more friendly rivals than with the other Yonko, with especially with Blackbeard. So I'm not. I don't see it going to develop in that way.
I agree. I mean, we already have precedent, right? Like, not Garp. Roger and Whitebeard went at it. They were rivals. They fought each other. I
Yeah.
don't. They weren't. We don't consider either one of them to be evil, but like they did fight each other.
Hmm.
So like that's just how it happens. Like evil is I think is a bad term because at least objectively, I don't know if I'd call. Well, Kaido might be because he did enslave a whole town. Um.
And
But
Big Mom was pretty evil.
yeah. I mean, I guess like committing people to give you their souls is not great. I mean, she does give them a choice, but yeah, you're right. You're right. So they're pretty evil. But like, they don't have to be actively hating each other. You just have like we're pirates. Like we're not supposed to be friendly anyway. Like if you don't fly under my banner, we will be rivals, and eventually we'll come against each other at some point.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so do you see them competing in sense of friendly competition, or do you think genuine competition where they're gonna try to kill each other?
I just think they're trying to win. I mean, One Piece doesn't do a lot of killing, so I don't know like if that'll just happen. Um,
That changed this chapter.
think how many episodes of One Piece there are and how many people have actually died. One
Fair
Piece is
point,
not doing a
fair
lot.
point.
Yeah,
But
compared to Attack on Titan, how many people died within like
no,
the
that's
first
different. That's
20
different
chapters?
vibe.
How
Attack
was it different though? Is it?
Attack on
It's
Titan is way more shonen, no, no, seinen than shonen.
Shonens rarely kill people, so that's what I mean. Like this death isn't
Uh,
that big in
You
One
have a few
Piece.
deaths like Naruto, Jiraiya, what's his name,
Even
Asuma.
even
They kill
even
people.
Bleach.
Naruto, that's not they kill people, but again, only one person out of what is it five for Naruto, the five uh sort of introductory classes who we get to meet, which is three people each. Only one person of that entire like class died. Like
Yeah, but I think the difference is like with Naruto, there um, it, it, people die a bit more easily, especially the villains, right? Because very often the villains end up dead. So it's
yes,
not so in One Piece generally they end up being beaten, but they don't die.
exactly.
Um, but here I think that's what Skoraba was referring to is that yeah, quite a lot of people seem to have died or have been confirmed to be dead in this chapter, right? Izo, Ashura, uh, Hawkins apparently croaked in this chapter.
Yeah, Brandon
Uh,
Hawkins died.
and yeah, I mean, my previous on the previous show where I suggested maybe Kaido and Big Mom died because they fell into the volcano. I mean, it's not that strange anymore. I mean, this is the stakes are have never been so high. I mean, usually, yeah, oh, very few people died, but now, we're fighting Yonko, so yeah, you're not getting out of this without a few people dying.
So
And
you're
I mean,
expecting
I know,
consequences.
yeah, and I mean, I know Kaido and Big Mom are uh, amongst the most powerful people
But
on
would
this in
he
this
not
world, but
say, have said Kaido and Big Mom are part of the people that died?
well,
If they were
they
dead.
yeah, yeah, but nobody has seen them die. They've been thrown into a fucking volcano. I mean, we saw lava stream and they disappeared in it. I mean, yes, of course, it could be that they're still alive, but the thing is, I mean, how would that work if they were still alive? Because if they survive this and they recover, they would still be the threat. I mean, Kaido could still come back to Wano and just take it over again when Luffy leaves. So, I mean that, and I don't see them suddenly have a change of heart. I mean, I'd say that they have to be out of the picture permanently for this for everybody to be safe and for this to move on, unless they do some sort of surprise. I'm not dead yet, and they interfere in like the final battle or whatever. But I mean, they have to either have to be incapacitated for a very long time, or they actually have been permanently removed from the playboard.
I think they're going to be off the board for a while. I don't think they're gone. Um, Partially because uh, Kaido. I mean, he was always probably going to manage to do it anyway. But like a big factor in Kaido's taking over was like Orochi, sort of betraying, then his whole like sort of reverse samurai army. I don't think it'll go the same way the second time. And Oda tends to write the Yonkos as being like very singular focus. So like now their singular focus will probably be to go wherever Luffy is and to go finish him
Uh,
off and like do because they like that's why Big Mom showed up there because like they've ruined her whole deal and she was like, yeah, I just will not stand and I
Hmm.
will kill him myself.
I just
Uh,
thought
I mean,
something. Ever,
hmm?
sorry to cut you off, but do you remember with the whole situation that maybe or maybe not going to Elbaf? Now, with Big Mom rendered basically in a volcano, are they going to Elbaf? And if so, shouldn't Big Mom be there then? Or
Yeah,
going
but
to see Big Mom
that
pirate?
that's the thing. I thought about it too, but you don't need Big Mom to be there. To if they're going to
You
go to Elbaf,
absolutely do.
then we're
Especially at
getting why?
go ahead.
Why? Because
Because Elbaf was set introduced because of Big Mom.
yeah, but here's the thing. For I mean, her story is basically done. We just don't know the there is one mystery. Like, did she actually eat
eat
uh,
her mother, whatever. I can't
uh,
remember her
yeah,
name. Yeah.
yeah. Which the thing is, uh, we could either have that explanation without her when they go to Elbaf, and we're getting they're filling in the blanks maybe from because what I think one of the giants witnessed everything, if not, or was that Stroyson? I'm not sure, but I'd say, but I mean they have the opportunity to get the perspective from somebody else to fill in the gaps. On the other hand, maybe we're never gonna get that story because it's pretty gruesome. So probably Oda decided not to show everything and just leave it to your imagination. I mean, that's also a possibility.
I
Hmm.
agree. I don't think, it, and also just because narratively, like how they break out a chapter or a saga, right? It's we visited Whole Cake Island, so like we got Big Mom in her totality at Whole Cake Island, even learning a good
Hmm.
portion of her backstory and what she's all about, where she came from. Same with Kaido. We go to Wano, we get Kaido, his entire history. It would feel weird to then circle back and bring back Mom a Big Mom back again. Like we just dealt with her twice.
Hmm.
Like we
Hmm.
don't need her a third time. Personally, I think they will show up at the end of sort of the One Piece journey. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna see them for quite some time. They gotta like regroup, and figure out what they're going to do next. But I agree with Weeb. Like, I don't, Elbaf doesn't need Big Mom. I think we got all of her story that we needed to tell for the most part, right? Like, we just want to see Elbaf because that's one of like Usopp's check marks. But I don't. Elbaf has nothing to do with Big Mom, person like specifically. It's not her land. It's just a place she came from. Like the
Gotcha.
giants are their own like thing. They have their own sort of world and space that we've never got to see before. Like, what is this society that produced Oars in Oars Junior? That's what I'm more
Uh,
interested
Hmm.
by the way, is that the same society? Because I had the impression that Ors was like a different kind of giant that didn't originate from Elbaf.
in. I guess I don't know. I just assumed. I get in the same way that like I assume all samurai come from Wano. I just assume like if you're a giant, you come from Elbaf because they've. I don't think they've ever specified any other
By the
giant
by the
or like
way,
kingdoms.
what was Akaino reaction though? Especially after so sorry that mentioning the subject. Sorry, continue.
No, I'm just saying like I don't know. We like I don't know if there are multiple islands of giants. I was always under the impression Elbaf was the only one.
I think Ors Junior was from somewhere else, and I think I'm not sure anymore, but I think there were explanation of the numbers or the giants and under Kaido's command that they were artificially created based on I think the race that Ors descended from, but I don't remember exactly what the explanation was there.
Because there's some giants in the Marines too, right?
Yeah, I mean they are from Elbaf. That's confirmed.
Okay, all right.
I think that the regular giants they come from Elbaf, but there's other giant species that are not necessarily from Elbaf. I think.
Gotcha. Okay. Actually, now that I'm just sort of looking up, Ors isn't even on this list, so I think you're absolutely correct.
Uh, a recreation of ancient giants, the number. So that might be indeed an entirely different breed of giants.
Which I guess all things well, it was hard. I mean, I assume he sort of looked. Ors Junior still looked the same way anyway, but he doesn't look like any of the other giants that we've seen, who generally just look like big people. But Ors and Ors Junior look like monsters, honestly.
Hmm. Oh well.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen with the admiral entering the fray? Because I mean they're setting it up as if, oh no, he's going to kidnap
Nico
Robin
Robin.
again. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean that's not going to happen. I mean we're not going to do Amy's lobby again. I mean I think that this admiral might be in charge of swords and is actually going to is not going to fight them. Is actually uh, probably going to retrieve Drake. I think. I think this is sort of might be a turning point in the Marines that there's going to be some sort of um, yeah insurrection, or at least we're gonna the Straw Hats might become aware of the fact that there's a faction within the Marines that's not in line with the hard line that Sakazuki is towing.
And I think that would make sense. I had
So
completely forgotten that there needs to be another admiral. I was like, who the heck is this guy? I was like, oh, that's
wait,
right.
you forgot about Greenbow?
I completely forgot about him. Like, just I had forgotten the number of admirals there need to be at any given moment, and just had
Hmm.
completely forgotten about this guy. Hey,
With
Is it a
Greenbow
guide,
here,
by the
with
way?
Greenbow being here, it make me now fear that he is on a whole different level compared to Sabo.
uh,
Sabo? Why?
well, in my head, it's hard to tell, but at least how the government would assume it, like he would be right, like just as an admiral or vice admiral, like.
But if he fought Sabo and was tired, got hurt, don't you think he would need to recover and not be literally flying to Wano? We don't know how strong he is, but from the look of it, he is very strong.
Yeah, sure, he's strong, but the thing is that we sort of have a baseline for the strength of Admiral. So I mean, I can't imagine him suddenly be on the level of Yonka, because that's the kind of thing. I mean, the only way he could be a threat to Luffy right now and to everybody on Wano is, yeah, okay, they're exhausted from the fight, but I think they recover quickly. So I don't know. I mean, I think for an admiral, no matter how powerful they are, if they're gonna go there to pick a fight, that's suicide. I mean, look at who they have. They have three essentially new Yonko. I mean, at least I'm assuming all three are going to be Yonko. Their crews, the seven sheets. I mean, we have Marco. We have the Minks. I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't care how strong you are. One admiral is not going to win this.
Yeah, and usually the admirals do not come alone. Like, when Fujitora showed up, like the Marines were there. And so it wasn't just escape from Fujitora. It was like escape from the Marines as well as like everything that's happening. Unless he has some wild power that just we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
Well,
don't know,
apparently,
teleport instant, like cuz I can't imagine him getting in and getting out. just by himself.
He's
Well,
definitely by
I,
himself and he got start
yeah,
a war.
but also,
And
but
remember,
also,
everyone, sorry, want to cut you off, but everyone is tired as fuck. This
yeah, but
literally feels like when, what's the name? When they were tired and someone came in.
yeah, I know Bartholomew Kuma. Yeah, yeah, I know. But still, I think this is different because they do seem to have had some time to recover. We're going through the celebration, I think, that really fast. So I don't think he's there to fight. And I remember also he's essentially pretty on board with Fujitora because he Fujitora was not supposed to was banned from any marine base, right? And he sort of technically said, "Oh yeah, no, Mary Jo is technically not a marine base," but I mean, he didn't care that. I mean, he was pretty buddy buddy with Fujitora, so I don't think he's that much of a stickler for the rules that he's gonna just follow Sakazuki's orders or whatever and do whatever has been ordered to him. I mean, again, we don't know the personality of this admiral. Could be the complete opposite, but I willing to wager that he's probably one of the more admirals that are yeah more morally upright. I mean, I think this new generation of admirals might be the sort of the change that the Marines eventually will need. So again, I'm willing to bet that he's not there to get Nico Robin. I think he's there for Drake.
Nah. Nico Robin is way more important than Drake.
Yeah, for the world government, but if he is indeed actually part of Sword, then Drake is more important.
Hmm. Okay, now let's shift topic. Um, okay, by the way, shout out to Chris Righteous. I was actually listening to genre music opening a few hours ago. What comes to what's called Akainu? Why the fuck is he scared? How can? Why is he so scared of Wano? This is Akainu biggest blunder. Wano doesn't seem to be that strong though. If you send in Kizaru, literally a person that can go at the speed of light, and you send in Akainu or Fujitora and Aokiji. Wait, no, wait. Aokiji not there. Fujitora is on his way to, what's her name? Snake Island, right? He is in one of the ships going to Hancock with Kobe. Um, I'm pretty sure they had all the strong marines to use. But even so, Kiza, Kizaru and Greenball should be enough to take care of Wano. All of Wano. Would you not agree?
No, I don't.
As the
'Cause
first question is, one, how do they find it? Two, how do they get there? Like, we found it the first time
One can
because
fly.
excuse me.
One can fly. And
Okay, so that's just one guy.
the other is the speed of light.
That's
He
two
can
guys.
teleport.
Two admirals is not taking down the entirety of Wano. It ain't
yeah,
gonna
but
happen.
you're seriously underestimating the samurai.
Nah, dude, the
Or
samurai are dog shit. They couldn't.
absolutely not.
They couldn't
Absolutely.
do.
Look,
Rem, rem,
they were able to injure Kaido, a fucking Yonko. I mean, no, you're not telling me these guys
no, that was
are
literally a
strong.
small. They take a small injury that got healed pretty fast.
It it doesn't fucking
But
matter
remember though,
that it is a small injury. No normal person could do that. They are strong. They know that. I mean, if they went all out. maybe. If they send all their admirals and their entire force, yeah. But what would that cost? Because then you're invading a country with all your forces, and leaving yourself vulnerable to the remaining Yonko, to the revolutionaries, to all your enemies. It's not gonna happen.
But I also agree, like they've never seemed to objectively had a reason to bother with. Oh, they're their own country. They leave the government alone. The government leaves them alone. No problem, no issue. What I
Hmm.
also would include is that I don't like everything. So and coming in One Piece now is like all about the war. So it's like more than just individuals doing things. What made this the Battle of Wano so difficult is that there were thousands of samurai fighting, thousands of prisoners fighting on top of like because Kaido doesn't have a large crew. It's the thousands of slaves that he conscripted into his service that he made fight for them that get in the way. The Marines probably can't get a majority of the Marines onto the elephant, especially now that Momo is comfortable enough to speak with it. He would just slap the ships away. So now you're only left with the people who can either fly or teleport, which will give you like maybe 5, 10 at best. Which again,
Yeah,
two admirals is not
I,
taking down the entire country of Wano. It's not gonna happen.
I think the elephant is probably because they never accounted for that. I mean that was
Yeah,
essentially because they were trying to invade Wano because they were seizing the opportunity that if Kaido fell, right, everybody will be weakened. And they needed Kaido because Kaido was the main arm supplier of the world. So despite the fact that the Yonko were like the most wanted persons on in this world, they still need. I mean that's how it all works, right? I mean
mm-hmm.
they still need them, so that's why they wanted to conquer Wano. You know, they get the factories and etc. But now you know the country they failed. The surprise attack failed. The country closed up. I mean they're going to strengthen their yeah borders, right? Strengthen their forces. I mean that was the golden opportunity, but even I think even without Kaido, the samurai are strong. I mean, they've said that every single time when we talk before we went to Wano, when we are talking about Wano. So the Marines know that even if they have the numbers, they know that an average Marine soldier is nothing to a Wano samurai. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
there's a
agree.
difference in quality there.
Yeah,
And that's what's going to matter. I mean, yeah, you can have a couple of admirals that are incredibly strong, it doesn't matter if the bulk of your army is incredibly weak. And as I said, these admirals are your strategic piece, are your kings and queens. You cannot just throw them en masse to conquer a nation because you leave yourself vulnerable because everybody and their mom is going to take advantage of the opportunity and going to invade and plunder and whatever while you leave your flanks uncovered. So they're not going to risk that. It's not going to happen. And they had their opportunity. They failed, and they're going to cut their losses.
yeah. Let alone what do you invite after like the tough battle with Wano and like let's say Luffy and them leave, but hear about it and come back. The same way that like you take Ace, they knew the moment they had Ace, Whitebeard was coming. And so they had to get everybody all hands on deck because there is no we just take Ace and nothing happens.
Mhm.
And so there's no we just take Wano and nothing happens. Somebody is going to do something.
That
And like that
that would be interesting if that now changes the dynamics. Because before, you know, the Marines were happy to try to take down Luffy, but now if they're actually going to treat him as a Yonko, I think they might. I mean, they're probably still because of that he's Joy Boy, because of his devil fruit that they still want to take him down. But they have to be more careful now because, and especially if we're gonna see islands declare their, you know, put the flag of the Straw Pipe. Like suppose Wano does that, right? That it's their territory, and we get and they reveal like the Grand Straw Hat Fleet. I mean, then Luffy is in fact actually a proper Yonko, where with a territory you can just go and attack that territory without, yeah, accepting the fact that you just declared war to Yonko.
Yeah, and I think that's going to eventually wind up being Suzuki's downfall because Sengoku would understand that. He would understand the very delicate balance that exists between all these forces and that you just can't do anything willy nilly. Sasuke, not so much. He's just like, whatever. Are they pirates? They need to go, and we will handle them. And so it's just like, you're going to bring the whole sort of house down upon you because you don't know how to like navigate properly. And like there's a strategy in doing this that like you just can't burn everything in your path just because you are the head of the world government. Like there's got to be Sengoku was who he was for a reason, and it isn't. I mean, he was incredibly powerful, but it isn't just that. He understood how this world works because leave it up to Sasuke. And to be fair, he was making them, so like because Blackbeard did get to become a Yonko at some point. But my thought is that like he is always waiting for the day he can just eliminate any of the pirates or all of them. Right?
And I think he's probably still underestimating Luffy because he almost killed him.
Yeah,
That's probably part of him that's not accepting the fact that he's now so much stronger now that he can seriously pose a threat against him.
yeah. Now I do think he's a clever man, and so he is thinking of like, how do I do this? But I do think sometimes I think he might start to get in his own way. Because
By the
they
way,
showed a little bit of cleverness when Whitebeard showed up and he bribed,
yeah,
was it Spotto or whatever?
mhm.
Like
But
that was smart.
I don't think he's like fully unredeemable because he was like he completely didn't like the fact that like CP0 was being used for for Doflamingo, right? To put in the fake news that he was resigning the Shichibukai. I mean,
Yeah,
he was pissed about that the Gorosei were doing that. So I do feel like he's not. I mean, he's sort of the ends justify the means kind of guy,
yeah,
but he also doesn't like the underhanded things. I mean, he can be pretty underhanded, but the sort of corruption and all. So there is a part of that makes him slightly redeemable, but I don't think he's going to be like suddenly uh, um, soften up and suddenly become a more moderate leader. I think we're going to come to blows at some point, and yeah. I think that the Marines might have issue. They're probably going to get stronger probably because of Vegapunk's technology and what. But uh, they're gonna come. They're gonna crumble uh, from the inside because I do believe there's gonna be some sort of civil war in the sense that at the end they're gonna be Marines fighting Marines because the hardliners and the moderates are gonna clash. There's gonna be a point where there's gonna be a point of where they just cross a line and that's the kind of thing, at least that what Kobe and Co are doing. That it's not just an intelligence organization within the Marines, but they're also planning something. They also probably more actively try to change the Marines for the better.
Hmm. What's your thoughts on now the death counter?
Hmm?
Izo died and Ashura died.
Yeah, shocking. I didn't even catch the moment where Ashura died.
That do you think they're gonna stay dead?
You're thinking they might do a Bell like in the Alabasta arc? Um, no, I think they're probably dead.
Dead. I'm curious what they're gonna do with everything that's gonna happen when it comes to Kaido and Big Mom. Like how they're gonna resolve that. That's the biggest that I'm interested waiting to see. Other than that, chapter was very interesting, especially with
Yeah,
Greenbow coming through. Uh, I'm expecting him to start the war, and we will see. It
I
makes
don't.
it makes
I
sense.
think. Yeah, sure. It's possible, but I think it's gonna turn out differently than we expected to be because it's so set up, like so similar to Enish Lobby, right? That they're after Robin again, and that it looks like they're gonna kidnap her. That's not gonna happen. He's gonna do 180 and just show, oh yeah, this guy's actually not there for Robin, or he's actually not really interested in following the hard line of the Navy. I mean, we'll have to see, but I expecting it is going to go different than you expect.
We got to see, I guess, what his form of justice is, because all of them have
Yeah,
a
definitely.
different form of justice.
Um,
So I no
so
idea what his.
what else happened? So of course the fan service stuff happened. I don't give a fuck about that. I hate that. I
Well, it is interesting that it basically means that Yamato considers himself to be male because they're joining the male bath. Because that's kind of an interesting thing. We had a discussion before. Is Yamato like just considering themselves male because they think they're Odin? But I don't think that's meant literally because uh, Yamato is also called the son of Kaido. I think even Kaido said,
Yeah, like he never
that's my
refers
son.
to Yamato as a girl.
Yeah.
Like
So
always.
I think
So
yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Kaido, obviously, what most likely happened is Kaido had either Kaido took a kid or had a kid. Obviously, wanted a boy, got a girl, and was like, nah, it's a boy, and just raised it as a boy.
Yeah, or maybe indeed that because Yamato says I'm Odin, right? That eventually he just gave up. Okay, I have a son and not a daughter. It is kind of interesting, and also with it's called Kiku, basically essentially a transgender woman in One Piece, and I
Yeah,
kind of feel like maybe this is also Oda trying to make a bit up for all the Okama in One Piece because I mean I think One Piece is quite progressive in the sense that there's so many of them and also so many strong ones. I really love those characters, but there's also pretty much a Japanese stereotype, right? That's where gay men are portrayed as yeah, almost drag queens, while they're not really the same thing. And this kind of
yeah,
feels like maybe trying to do better. But okay, yeah, here are two characters who essentially a transgender woman and transgender man, and yeah, and one of them is going to be a crew member.
and I think it makes for kind. I like the gag. Like I like the gag of like if Yamato stays, right, then it'll just be various times where she's just doing or he's just doing things that like clearly are going to like make Sanji or Brook flip out. And like he would be completely oblivious to it all. And it's like I don't understand what the problem is. And like I think that's very funny. Just like the gag with Momo where he went to Nami and she was like, "Get off of me." And I was like, that's very, very funny because like now that he's grown up, he can't pull it off like he used to.
Mhm.
guess
Oh,
who is coming
I mean,
through? Guess who is coming through?
he-
Mm?
he's lucky, by the way, that because apparently his body is pretty tough thanks to his dad.
Yeah,
So so it doesn't even
Uh,
matter that he doesn't have any skills. He can basically just bluff his way through because of his physical abilities.
I missed something. So you guys cleared up for me. So he's permanently that age now.
Yeah.
Who I can't. Who did that to him? I can't. I cannot remember.
I don't know her name, but the female
The ninja,
ninja.
Shinobu.
Yeah,
Okay.
she has ability to I think ferment things, but if she does it on a person, she can age them up.
Uh, okay. I was like, wait, because I for some reason I thought it was like, oh, he'll eventually turn back. I I missed the whole point. I know this is permanent.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Is this fuckface coming through? I'm waiting on Jubei. He's coming through, so I'm waiting on him. Um, because I don't want to change the subject from this all the way to, because I still need to rant on the movie and the video game. But outside
I mean,
this, nothing else happened.
we talked about. I told you nothing's gonna happen. Like this is the wind down period.
So, but, how? We're literally endgame. You're expecting explosion, something.
I mean, we haven't gotten to the big war though that Oda promised us. Like
That
that's the big
that's
deal
gonna
thing.
go. That's not gonna come after the One Piece is found, though. Not now.
Do you think so?
Yeah, cause literally, what's his name? Might be said when the One Piece is found, then the big war gonna happen, and that's what you're afraid of. And I think the One Piece is gonna have something to do with the voice century, and it's gonna expose the Marine as being the bad guy. They're gonna
So
be
then,
exposed for doing genocidal, not suicide. Oh, fuck that. No, genocidal killing. I forgot what you call that. Ethnic, better word. Ethnic cleansing.
do you think that because obviously the Marine or some of the Marines already know this? Do you think that
Oh yeah. What's his
that
name?
they would that the war would start before you get the One Piece because
No.
they
You
want to
need
stop them from getting it to exposing the Marines to the world.
no, cause I think every single person is going to revolt against the Marines, but also the world government because of the One Piece being found. And I think what's his name, Morgan, Big News Morgan, he's gonna be the one that reveal everything when the One Piece is found. Cause I truly, why else is a big war going to happen? Make no
To
sense.
stop them from getting to the One Piece.
Nah.
Think about the last big war we had. Why did it happen? It was to stop them from rescuing Ace.
Yeah, and I believe for this war is going to happen because the One Piece is found and because the information is out. Remember,
I but see that
but is
I
this
guess from a battle standpoint, like once the information's out, win or lose for the world government, nothing it doesn't matter anymore. Now
it
the world
does.
knows you lied.
They can always uh, win through power, and that if you intimidate people enough, they're gonna submit. But
But as
if
far as we know, that's not how the world government operates.
we do know that because they are literally doing ethnic cleansing, and they're destroying an entire.
We
They
yes,
wiped an entire.
they've destroyed entire islands,
Yeah,
absolutely. But they have justified that to hide their secret. Once their secret is out,
yeah,
they've
that's what I'm
as
talking
far as we
about.
know, as far as we know, they don't have the resources to effectively eliminate everyone to make them forget. Unless that's what happened during the Void Century, we don't know that though. Like that's the big question mark. If that's the case, if they did do that during the Void Century, you're absolutely right. They could just do it
What
again.
if the final weapon is by the world government?
It could be. That's I mean, like I think there's still a lot of questions open
What
that we
if
gotta get to.
the world government already have someone on the down low that knows where Uranus is and Neptune and all of them are? You can't tell me someone with the world government expertise not knowing. again, I don't remember. I don't understand how Kaido didn't know about what's her name? Um, the mermaid. That she is a secret woman. You would have uh, what's his name? That Koribo, not Koribo, Ko, Koribo, or what's his name? You know, the mud dude.
Hmm.
Shouldn't he have said everything? Because he heard everything. He knows everything. Does he not know that she is a secret weapon?
But as far as we understood, Kaido was never after the secret weapon. So like, it's just something he knows. It's not something he's like. I probably bet all of the Yonko were aware of it, but what does that do for me? I mean, like, it's cool, but like, I'm already succeeding in what I'm doing currently. So like, I don't necessarily need this because the Yonko don't seem to want to try to take out the world government. They've just been existing for years.
Mm, But they
It's just been
seem,
an
but
uneasy
they also
peace.
seem to be wanting to go to One Piece. So you can't
It
do that. You're gonna have the
only
world government
Kaido
on
and
your
Big
head.
Mom seem to have want to like Whitebeard seemed to have no interest in it.
Whitebeard, no, but Blackbeard for sure.
Absolutely, but
And you have Shanks, which we know he's gutting for the One Piece.
like he was already there.
No, he was never there to begin with. He would never, again, you making the same mistake that everyone else seems to make. Shanks was never in Laptail, nor Buggy. Buggy got sick, and Shanks had to take care of them, and they dropped them off an island or two before heading to the One Piece.
Right, but Shanks would have a general sense of where it would be. That's what I mean. So like if he had that general sense, he could have looked
I
for this
don't.
place years ago.
He was a kid. I don't think he would have
Shanks is
known.
39 now.
No, I said
He
back
had
then.
a long time to go find this place.
Yeah, but still, we don't know how it's found though. You
I,
need
I
a
don't
lot.
I don't dis-
It's
I don't
not.
disagree with that.
It's not a
But
simple
I guess my only
Lamppost
thing is
owning. It's not
we've never
simple.
heard Shanks
Yeah, go
say that
ahead.
he wants to go after the One Piece. He's never stated that. We're assuming that. That's just an assumption. Like we've never heard him say that.
Fair point.
And up until like fairly recently, we've also never heard Kaido like all through Whole Cake Island. Big Mom, I don't think ever mentioned once about wanting to get the One Piece. It wasn't until she showed up on Wano and they were like, you know what, we should form an alliance and go do this thing. Like she had her own separate thing about the Germa.
Well,
Like
I don't think that's entirely correct because she did have one of the road poneglyphs, so she was definitely aiming for the One Piece.
and that's part of my thing. It's like she has it. And again, I think about it because there's no time period for me. So my first thought is, how long has she had it? What has she been doing since then? Because the German don't seem like, I mean, it's cool to have them and like that's definitely a great ally to have inevitably when you want to go for the One Piece. But like they're Big Mom is old. Kaido's old. Shanks is older, but he's a younger man. Like they've had a long time. Like I understand that it's difficult, but like someone already found it. It can't be this super crazy secret. I just like part of it is like that's what the red line is for, right? Like to cut half the people off who just even try. Like if you can't get past here,
You
don't
believe
even consider
someone already found the One Piece?
it. No, it's just my question is why is it only seen as though Luffy and I understand story wise, but why does it seem like Luffy is the only person in the entire show singularly focused on getting the One Piece?
But
He's not
he
though.
isn't. No, he isn't.
I mean
Because
outside of Blackbeard.
well, Blackbeard, I mean, Kid and Law, I mean, maybe Law not anymore, but when they were at what's it called? The Shabamni Archipelago. I mean, all of them were basically, they literally said, like, if you don't have like the ambition to become the Pirate King and find the One Piece, yeah, then you wouldn't have made it this far. But they all had that ambition, and I mean, Big Mom also had what's her name, Pudding. I mean, she was part of the tribe, or she made it with, basically with a member of that tribe to get a child who had that third eye, which, if I'm not mistaken, was able to read the poneglyph. So
Yeah,
she
he
was
gets foreseeable.
actively, yeah, she was actively trying to get it, but it's not that easy because uh, these robots. I think Kaido also had one. So yeah, if a rival Yonko has one, yeah, you're not going to make a lot of progress because you would have to take down one of the powers, in the new world that's essentially keeping each other in check. Because if you move on one, the others will move on you. So I think that's why it took so long. I mean, they're keeping each other in check, and uh, you know, it's not easy to get to these road degrees. So I think it's not that they have no ambition to go move forward, but they couldn't.
Now, I'm going to be unfair, even though I think you know what I do agree with you. We that would not have stopped Gold Roger. And as far as we're saying, that doesn't stop Luffy either. Like they just don't care. Like so what? If I gotta blow up this place to go get it, and like not literally blow up, but like if I gotta blow up Big Mom's wedding or daughter's wedding, cool. I don't care. If I gotta get in the way of Kaido and his whole plan, I don't care. Here's what I want. I want the One Piece. Whoever's standing in my way, I'm going through them.
Yeah,
Or at least
but
trying to go
that's different because he was the underdog. I mean, he wasn't at that point a Yonko. When a Yonko moves, right? Kaido cannot move onto Big Mom without her knowing. We had an incredible intelligence network. Remember,
through. This
she
is
she
true.
was able.
This is true.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, Luffy snuck in, and he did something that nobody else would do for just to get a crew member back, to sneak into Yonko's, essentially their territory, uh, and risk, fighting against a young. He didn't even go there for the road poneglyph, right? That
No,
wasn't his main.
he went there just for Sanji.
Yeah, I mean, so you have to be fucking crazy essentially to do that. So I say it's easy for some people to do if you have no fear, don't really have anything to lose. Of course, has something to lose, but in the sense that you don't consider yourself being a general of an army, or a ruler. Yeah, there's nothing to conquer, right? There's nothing to the other Yonko are not going to move on your territory when you are away from it because you don't have any. It would be very different if he had or now has a territory. But again, I don't think Luffy uh, will consider that, like that he has to sort of sit down and hunker down and wait for other Yonko to make a move. But the things have changed, right? Because essentially the only Yonko from the original or original, at least the established Yonko left, the Blackbeard and Shanks.
Yeah.
And I don't think Shanks is going to be, per se, a threat. I mean, I agree with you that I do think that Shanks is probably also not interested in the One Piece himself because how close he got, I think he could have um, made the move. But yeah, the thing is, you also don't exactly know how do you get on that
You get there.
island, right? I
Yeah.
mean, there might be more to it than just knowing its location. But yeah, I think that he possibly indeed is maybe waiting. I mean, maybe indeed he believes that Luffy is the one, the chosen one who's gonna properly utilize the One Piece, whatever it is. So I don't know, but I agree with you. I don't think he's really ambitious enough to actually go for it. That he sort of has accepted the fact that he's not going to be the new pirate king. He's going to wait for the next generation, and maybe because he met Luffy. That's why because he said the same thing as Gold Roger. He's like, okay, I'm going to bet on the new generation.
Hmm.
Okay.
I agree with you. I'll
Um.
concede. I'll fall down, but I got my eyes on these old the past Yonko. I'm watching
Hmm.
them. Get up off the ass and do something.
Okay. Now shifting gears for Jubei, it seems to be coming through. I gave him enough time. Um. Summerfest. You watch Summerfest? Zero.
I did. I think there may be a couple of last minute things that I've missed, but I've gotten pretty much everything I need to see.
Okay. So he hyped it up, One Piece being there, and story seems to be interesting. The
Like
game is
aliens? Does it look like aliens? Is that what I sort of saw? When like when they
um
got pushed to the sky?
knowing Oda, he is not gonna involve alien. We don't have
Mm.
alien One Piece. He's gonna make it humanized. He's just gonna do his own spin on it. If they do alien, they need to set it up pretty well then.
They
Cause
have aliens in One Piece, though.
really, who?
Well,
Yeah,
that's where Enel is. Yeah.
yeah. It's literally on the moon, and they're space pirates. So there are aliens in
Oh,
One Piece.
them. Okay, fair point. But
Yeah.
I'm talking about alien. You know, the green one.
Well, they don't have to be green to be aliens.
I mean, fine.
What about the grays? And you actually have two Easter egg characters. I think they're also from. They're also in Rooney Kenshin because he was an assistant working on that manga. I think I don't know what they call, but they're sort of these squid-like aliens that are sort of sometimes appear in the background.
So, where the fuck is the gameplay? Especially with you saying this game coming out this year. I don't see it coming out this year. They have yet to show any one shred of gameplay.
They have shown gameplay though.
Yeah, I
The
thought
the
the
trailer
thing they
the
just
trailer
showed at
has
Game Pass
gameplay.
was gameplay, right?
Hmm?
They showed gameplay. It wasn't much, but they showed gameplay.
They didn't. They have yet to see
They
genuine
did.
gameplay. I'm talking about
They
literally
did.
a minute or so how the combat is.
Look, it was seconds, but it was still gameplay. We still saw the combat, the turn-based combat. We did see some of it.
We never did. When did we see anything of
Well,
it?
what
We saw them
watch it
doing their
again.
we saw them doing their move. We never saw the button prompt. We never saw the menu. We saw nothing. We have yet to see
We
anything.
when he was fighting that giant gorilla, that was gameplay.
So am I the only one that feels something is off with this one?
I
I mean,
guess
I guess
so.
that all depends on when you think it's coming out.
Off which one? I'm sorry, I just got off a call. My bad.
Fuck
Sorry.
you. How long have you been? Oh my god, yeah, go ahead. Oh, I'm gonna finish
Bro,
my
I've
sentence.
been in here listening for like 10 minutes. Relax.
I'm gonna finish my sentence, then you can go, Jubei. So am I the only one that thinks this seems fishy?
No. Well, I think I don't think it's fishy, but okay.
Gotcha. What about you, Zero?
No, I don't run into much of a problem. Like, if my general assumption here is that they said it's an RPG, right? So
Yeah,
I
third
don't
base.
think yeah I think it's gonna look like a turn-based RPG. Like pick which one you want, I guess, but like it's going to look. I don't think it's going to reinvent turn-based JRPGs. So it's just going to look like either it'll be like Final Fantasy VII maybe, or like maybe a more maybe like Star Ocean, but like I don't think
I
it's going to.
I think it's going to be more like Dragon Quest because for what we've seen.
Okay.
And I actually think it's a good thing that they did because the other One Piece games with for the action combat they were garbage. I mean, I cheer on this choice to make it turn based because at least it might actually have decent gameplay this time.
Exactly. It's not going to be a clone of like, those typical anime games that we keep getting. Like everything has to have like weird, like open world, like Naruto-ish combat. So it's kind of nice to see that kind of change for like a big property like One Piece. It's pretty good.
Mm.
I'm not worried
Um,
about it.
Jubei, what you thought? Nah, you enjoyed Summer Fest. That's all I to tell you. What your thoughts on the chapter?
Um, I mean, cool. I didn't really think anything too crazy of it. Like I thought it was dope that Momo got to give his little speech. Like that was probably like my favorite part. Seeing
So, Greenbolt
inspired
going.
by.
Okay. Okay. 1 second. Just to give you an update. This is a Street Fighter update. To you, Jubei. Street Fighter 6 has rollback netcode, apparently.
It has rollback netcode.
Yeah.
It has rollback netcode.
Yeah.
So now I need to know what's the biggest edition of this game that I can buy.
Okay. Go by. I don't even know what that is, but sure. Um.
So what it
What?
does is it removes jank from like if your connection's like bullshit, if their servers are bullshit, it
Mm,
it it predicts what you're going to do without that actually happening. So like it just kind of just cuts like the lag part of fighting
okay.
online
Good.
out.
So good. They're focusing on it. So with what's his name? Dying, being dead. Ashura and Izo. Is that tracking?
You said is it shocking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not really.
Do you see them coming back, or they're gonna stay dead?
I mean, did we get a body? If there's no body, there's a chance they can come back.
Okay, fair point.
They're dead.
What is
They're dead.
what's your thoughts on Grimbo? Do you think he's gonna do something or no?
I'm sorry.
Hmm?
What'd you say?
What's your thoughts on Grimbo? Do you think he's going to do something or no?
I
Hello?
don't know. It's hard to
Eh,
say. I mean, I don't know. Like we're in a weird place with this arc where there's a lot of things that are unsettled.
yep,
So
I agree. I agree with that one.
like it's kind of hard to tell. It's probably going to be like another few chapters before we start seeing any,
So
you know.
what? So Oda is going on a vacation for a month to prepare for the final saga. That's confirmed now. How long do you
That,
think One Piece gonna still going to be?
personally, probably like another 3 years, dude, at minimum. And I don't
Yeah,
think it's gonna
I
wrap quickly. There's a lot of storylines they gotta tie up.
yeah, I agree. What about you, Zero?
I said 3. I was thinking maybe a year and a half.
No
I think we're about to start
way.
flying through some things. Like do that, done. Do that, done. Do that, done. Like be done with it.
No way. Cause we need uh, uh, what's it called? Aim flashback. We
A
need
what flashback?
of Aim Sama. Who is it?
Eam.
Or who is it? Is it a male or female? And its backstory. We need
Who's
backstory of Dragon. We need backstory of Blackbeard.
I?
What is his
I don't.
goal? We
I
need
don't think we necessarily do. Or they do it just like they did Big Mom and Kaido. We gotta get their backstory very quickly. You don't need to take a whole bunch of
you're
time to
not
do
gonna
that.
and especially Chunks. We need backstory of Chunks. You're not gonna
I think
have all these go through very fast.
They just did all three of the Yonko we've seen. So three of the four original Yonko, we've gone through their backstories very quickly. Why would we change up now? Whitebeard went through quickly. Big Mom went through quickly. Kaido went through quickly. The closest I think is if we get an actual Rook Pirates arc, but like the standard is already set. I'm just saying, like unless I'm wrong about their backstories, but like three of the four we know what their backstories are. They didn't take a long time to get through. I think Big Mom might have been the longest. So what? Shanks is going to get his entire own arc? I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. Dragon, definitely not. I don't know. I don't. I don't see it, man. Like we're going to get a very short one, the same way we got with Kaido for people like Dragon, and probably for Shanks as well. Shanks might be longer because he feels like he's going to be a very key player in the end. But everybody else, I don't know, man.
I think
Um,
if they drag, it's going to be closer to mine. If they don't kind of rush through it, it's going to be closer to Zero's prediction as far as how
Yeah,
long we
like
got left.
so you think no, they're gonna go through it all very, very, very fast?
I mean, I think they'll go through at the speed that they go through all the other key important characters.
But we have so much to cover, especially Void Entry. Uh, I'm expecting so if you watch anyone here read or seen Maggie?
Mm-mm.
Hmm?
Okay.
Yeah,
No one? Okay.
I just said I have.
Oh, you have. Okay, so you know they did an arc about Almatoran or whatever you wanna call it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm expecting an arc like that.
But I let's say I agree with you that it's probably going to take 3 years, considering how long Wano took. So I mean, yeah, it's
Take
that
the longest
even
time.
if it's the last arc, it's going to take years to finish.
I'm expecting at least 3 years with all the break taking and so on and so on. I am not expecting Oda to rush this.
I'll give you
I'm
two
ex-
years max.
I am expecting 3 years to 5 years. Furthermore, I am expecting the One Piece to fill additional information that the manga is going to skip on or go through in very fast. Cause it really seems to be the manga, the anime is the better adaptation versus the manga.
Uh, the manga is original, so it's not an adaptation.
True, the anime would be an adaptation of the manga.
Also, after One Piece end, do you think he's gonna give retire Oda, or do you think it's gonna start a new one?
How old is he?
I don't know, but he made enough money to retire. We'll leave it at that.
But yeah, he's a millionaire.
Yeah, he doesn't have. I mean,
He is a billionaire.
it's if he wants. I guess it's if he wants to. Like,
Exactly. He's at the point where even even if he stopped, like the residuals alone is
yeah,
gonna kill him.
yeah.
I
So
don't think
Like,
I don't think Shueisha would ever kill this cow cash. I don't think.
I mean,
I
inevitably you have to let it
They're
go.
gonna find a way to
yeah.
milk it. I mean,
Uh,
if a manga like Bleach got a new chapter, which that chapter set up an entire new arc. If you know, you know.
it, what do you mean? The anime, because the
No, no,
manga is done.
no. The manga actually got a new chapter, and with this chapter, they set up
Oh
an
yeah, yeah,
entire
yeah.
new arc.
Yeah, but I mean, they're doing that with a lot of things. Like Fairy Tail got like a entire new arc
Gosh, can't
after the
wait.
manga ended.
Yeah,
Then Dragon Ball continue. But yeah, sure they could, but I yeah, I don't know. With One Piece, it's such an auteur work compared to something like Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball just went way beyond the original, but I don't know if you can really do that with One Piece because it's such a focused story. Like I don't know if Oda would want that. Like yeah, milk my shit. I mean, sure, you can still do games and maybe movies or whatever, but I don't think he's gonna say, yeah, look, I'm gonna write a spin-off story about the son of Luffy or whatever. Right? I mean, I don't think it's gonna. We're not gonna get Boruto. No.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a
That's what I was.
Boruto.
That's what I'm afraid of. Like, I do not want them to go that route because I don't think Boruto should even fucking exist.
Yeah,
Just
Boruto
don't.
sucks. And to be fair, look at
Wait,
Toriyama.
wait, wait,
Like
wait, 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 wait.
GT
But
sucks.
apparently Boruto is getting heated right now. I don't read.
I sh-
I don't
I
read it
don't.
or watch it. They fucked up the anime. The manga is apparently fire. The
That's
anime
fine, but
is shit ton of
I,
fillers.
I wanted the story of Naruto. I got
Yeah,
that. I don't
and they
care about his
nerfed
future.
all of our favorite Naruto characters, so I'll never
They,
forgive them for that. What they did to Sasuke and Naruto is unforgivable as far as I'm concerned. So like, I don't want any parts of what they got going on over there. So you do run the risk of ruining it. Like Bleach, I mean, Bleach to me, Bleach always sucked, but like I guess it's
Yeah,
cool they're getting a
you're right.
second chance at life. I still think it's gonna suck. Boruto's not great. It'll probably wind up getting better, but like Boruto's not great. We all know what happened with Dragon Ball and GT. Um, it just so happens that Super came to save it, but even Super understood what it was doing, right? It was like you're here to watch people fight. That's all we're gonna push on you from here on out. Everything else is irrelevant. Like it'll never hit the heights of like the Frieza or Cell saga. Dragon Ball will never be that great again, I think personally. So like, do we want that to happen to One Piece? Like, do we want it to just sort of continue on? Like we've said, it's a very focused story. So now it's either make a new story or continue it. And I was like, I don't. I've spent a lot of time in this world. I don't know if I need to spend any more time with it. Like Oda, take a break. Do whatever you want to do. Come back and make something new. Like I don't know.
Mm. And the final part topic is going to be, dude, Film Red got a new trailer, and boy oh boy, my expectation went from a net 99 to almost like a 1. Mostly because what's happening is um, Uta seems to be almost like canony. They made her canon almost. They placed her before Luffy was called um, getting the scar on his face and eating the devil fruit. Um, that's not the issue. The issue is really seems that Luffy, um, what's his name? Shanks is
And
not going to be the part of it, in the sense of we're not gonna get a Shanks focused story. When they first announced One Piece Film Red, I was expecting genuinely, and I really mean genuinely, we're gonna have almost like a Jujutsu Kaisen story arc or Mugen uh, train in Demon Slayer story arc. I was expecting Blackbeard versus Shanks fight or a Shanks flashback with a fight against Blackbeard, especially with
Demon
how.
Slayer is by the way not fair because that was actually a manga story.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
I think Demon Slayer, I believe the movie was essentially this adaptation of the next part of the manga, so I don't think that's a fair comparison.
It was from the manga, fair point, but it, it don't you think they should have capitalized something on that front?
Oh, sorry for
No,
what?
I
On
would say no, not to capitalize. I mean,
yeah,
that worked for Demon Slayer. Majority of the other movies that coming out don't seem to, or other anime that getting movies
I
don't
have
seem
yet
to
to
be
watch
like.
Jujutsu Kaisen one.
Yeah,
Uh,
so it's two, Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer, and like Demon Slayer is the closest where it's like the 1-to-1. Like this is just a, we could have made this an anime, we just made it a movie instead. But like, Jubei, you gotta let me know the new Dragon Ball movie. It's not an adaptation of the manga. It's just its own thing, right?
mm-hmm.
So like One Piece has like what 8, 10 movies already. I would not expect them to change at this point.
So I'm
Yeah,
I'm
I
one
mean,
again disappointed with where the movie is heading.
I mean, I kind of expected this. I mean, look at the other movies where Odo's involved. I mean, the previous one, Stampede and Strong World. Essentially, the story itself had very little impact on the overall world of One Piece. It was just basically, I mean, what for a Strong World, the most interesting part of that was the One Piece Zero chapter, which gave you more information about the past of One Piece. But the movie itself didn't do much really. It was the that's the case for all the movies. Even if they might be canon, even if they might be referred to in the manga, at best you're gonna get a reference to a character. It's not gonna be like, oh, you need to watch this movie, otherwise you can't understand the story of the manga. That's never gonna happen.
Mm. So when they first announced Red, what do you expect it from out of it?
To me, it's just got to be Strong World is my favorite of the One Piece movies. So like, it's got to be
Yeah,
better or equal to
Strong
Strong
World
World.
is the best because they made it personal with Zeph and how he was an ex-marine, and they incorporated him being the teacher or the sensei for Kizaru and Aokiji.
Otherwise, like, uh, otherwise it's just like, eh. Like Shiki was dope, so like, it's cool that Shiki's there.
Maybe I expected too much because I was watching what's called um what do you call that the Mugen Train, which is again is amazing.
Yeah, but like, probably, but like, cause that's like also expecting One Piece to up its animation to look like Demon Slayer. I was like, that ain't gonna happen.
I
So
mean,
like,
the latest One Piece
no, One
shot
Piece not
episodes have
touching.
been
They're not touching the
insane.
Mugen Train fight.
Nah, the One Piece latest One Piece fights have been insane on a
They are
whole
not
different quality.
touching They're not. I've seen them. They're not touching the Demon Slayer fights. Like the Demon Slayer fight are amazing because even when Demon Slayer is not fighting, it looks amazing. The animation is top notch from the most boring episode to the most exciting episode.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Maybe they can touch it with Gear 5 reveal and Gear 5 action. Also, maybe we're gonna get additional fight with Gear 5 to fill in the gap. Now that, I didn't think about this whatsoever. With the manga going on hiatus for an entire month, do you think we're gonna get filler, or do you gonna get additional content to fill in the time gap in the anime side?
Ooh, good question.
Go ahead, Weep. I believe
Uh,
they're gonna do additional content because we've seen it doing it with the anime already. They're not gonna all of the sudden with especially with how we are with the war. They are not gonna all of the sudden give us an filler arc. Doesn't work.
I
Well,
expect
no,
filler.
yeah, or a stupid recap as well. I think they don't really need to at the moment uh, have to worry about that because they have enough material going forward. They can finish the entire Kaido fight because that's done in the manga. They just have to probably add fillers after this arc ends.
Mm-hmm. Zero.
I think filler. I think they're gonna do filler like all other anime do filler. Hopefully Foxy returns. I would love to see Foxy come back. But it'll just probably be filler. It might be good, it might be bad, but they got to fill the time with the space and do whatever. They might, do some extra stuff, but I still think we might get a small filler arc.
Mm, Jubei.
Um, I'm leaning filler. I'm pretty sure he's had notes for his and hiatus. So
What do you mean with
yeah,
filler? A filler arc?
yeah, just something to kind of
Really?
do. Yeah, I
How?
mean,
How do you go from fighting Kaido to what? Oh, you think they're gonna finish the Wano arc and then add filler?
right. I mean, but the ending of the Wano arc could be filler. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm, okay, they can do a small arc like what's called the Aqua Laguna after the Aqua Laguna, because apparently that episode is filler. But
Yeah,
when you
there were some fillers there. Yeah, I
when
think
you look
that's what
back,
they're going to do. They're
okay,
probably going to spend some more time in Wano after they defeat Kaido more than what we see in the manga.
okay, I have a question for you. When you was watching One Piece, were you smart enough to understand what is filler and what's canon?
Yes.
Did you catch on when One Piece was doing fillers? And I'm not talking when they went to the what's called the Oda period. No, I'm talking about, like, for example, G8 arc.
Yeah.
Did you know that that was filler?
Well, I was reading the manga, so yeah, I did. But
Ah, fair point.
I,
Did
I
it feel as a
you
filler though?
it feels as a filler. Yeah, it feels. You can see that with the characters, with the story. You see and the overall impact, of course, because it doesn't really move the story forward.
Um, okay. With Aqua Laguna, did it feel fillery?
Yes.
Wait, am I the only one that was that stupid that couldn't recognize fillers? Back then I had no idea what the fuck filler is. Um, I always thought what's called when they do an episode or two about what's called like for example Oda. As I always enjoy that because I love Luffy's song. That song that he could sing in Skypiea and every time when he's bored. I love that song. And that's
That
an
song is canon, though.
huh?
That song is canon.
What do you mean canon? I'm not talking about being sake. I'm talking about the
Yeah, I know what you mean, but that's also in the manga.
oh, I had no idea. Good. Um, so, what comes to so when Naruto was doing their filler, not gonna lie, it felt natural at time. When okay, so they were in a boat for almost a year and a half, but they did fight Jinchuriki. They didn't fight They fought literally almost every single Jinchuriki. They helped them. Like that was filler canony that should have been in the manga. And the same thing with Bleach when they did the Zanpakuto arc. That's something that should have been in the manga. Um,
Uh, I don't agree.
really?
I
Zanpakuto is one
the
of the
problem
best arcs.
the problem
I disagree with that completely, very
yeah
thoroughly.
the problem I have with Bleach fillers is that they're so long and that they actually impact the canon story. Like what's it called, the Bound arc, I believe. That
Yes.
you have these characters appearing in parts of the canon story. Like, get these characters out of there. I don't want these annoying characters in the main story. I mean, they're not part of the canon. I mean, One Piece did that too with some cases, right? That they sort of mixed fillers with canon, like what they did with the Davy Back fight. I mean, that they stretched it 3 times longer than it
But
actually was in the
am I
manga.
the only one that enjoyed that?
I didn't.
No, Foxy's one
Why?
of my
I
favorite
It's
characters in One
funny.
Piece. He's
It's
the best.
it's funny.
I like Foxy, but I hated the filler rounds because they were not as funny as the rest, and the entire idea that he didn't get Chopper back right away, I mean, was fucking stupid.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
it makes sense because you know how Luffy is. He's always confident in himself, and he it's his fault that the horse was stolen, so he wanted to give it back. It makes perfect sense. Am I so? Sanji and Zoro doing that football fight was a canon or filler? Because I genuinely forgot
That
about that.
that was canon.
Okay, canon. Then remind me, what's the filler part then?
I think the foot race with that cheetah character was
Oh, that was
filler.
funny.
So
That was enjoyable.
no, only canon one was the boat race at the beginning,
Hmm.
the football, and the final match with Foxy.
Yeah, no, then I'm glad they did the canon, the filler part, cause the Shita one is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
It
I didn't like the filler ones.
it felt real. It felt canony. This is why I think. Also, for example, the arc when they did against that dude that used magma, where they stole the Straw Hat, what's called flag. That genuinely felt canon to me. Because I always saw, I always saw, what's called, uh, One Piece as a JRPG. You're not
Yeah,
gonna
but
go
but
from from point A to B in a second. You're gonna always
yeah, but
experience adventure, and it felt
I
to
I
me
I think
adventure-like.
that I think that arc also had that character design by Oda, so that helps with making it feel like it belongs there.
And the humor
But
also is
still,
kept normal.
I mean, look, I'm not saying that all fillers were bad. I actually liked like quite a few of them after the Alabasta arc, but
Are you
you
talking
notice that.
about what's the name? The friend of Bartolomeo? Desire?
No, no, I'm talking I'm talking about the goats. I mean that I actually kind of liked it, but these are kind of like this is filler because this is going nowhere. This has nothing to do with the overall plot.
I mean,
So
yeah, even now, like for example, now, if we get a story about Luffy trying to understand, trying to use his power again and can't, and in the manga we don't have that. It's filler, but it makes sense for the story to do something like that.
um,
Which is
yeah,
why to
but
me,
there's
yeah, go ahead.
also problems with. like the Warship Island arc, the one with the dragon. There were so many inconsistencies there. Like Sora suddenly could cut steel cannonballs, which he couldn't do yet. The fact that they actually outright deny it ever having existed in the manga, because when they go to what's it called, Punk Hazar, when they meet a dragon, they're actually like, "Oh, it's the first time we ever see a dragon." I mean, you had an entire filler arc about dragons, and now
Fair
you're
point,
pretending you've
fair
never seen a
point, fair
dragon
point,
before.
fair
Yeah,
point. Mm,
but I actually like that because of the fuck that arc never happened.
ah, I enjoyed, I almost enjoyed everything in One Piece, which should bring me
Oh,
to my next talking point, which is, oh boy, rumored is Hitman Reborn is getting an new anime adaptation, and I'm all in. Like, I'm so all in. This is going to be my favorite anime of all time. I love Reborn. I love Reborn so much. And I really hope they change the ending, but they're just gonna add the additional, what's called, the bloodbath arc. If you know, you know. Um, anyone here watched Reborn or read Reborn?
I've seen, yeah, I've read the manga as well. Yeah.
Oh, so what's your thoughts on this one? Okay, so first of all, what's your thoughts on how the manga ended?
Um, I honestly I don't even actually remember it that well.
Okay, so
It's been a
basically
while.
the ending was basically he. I'm not gonna spoil it. All I was just it felt underwhelming.
Yeah, I get it.
It felt like nothing was accomplished. After everything he
But
went through, he still stays the same.
I don't think the anime, if there's going to be new anime, it's going to fix that, because the original anime never got to that point. So I think they're just gonna make a faithful adaptation of the manga this time around.
Hmm. I to me, I will die on this hill. Reborn have the best future arc in all anime. Don't at me. I triple dare you to go and don't at me with Reborn having.
I
Uh, name me one
I
better
do.
than Reborn. Go ahead.
Well, I will grant it that it actually is one of the most original shonen anime out there, because or a manga out there, because it's not, doing it's not very predictable in that sense. So I did appreciate that did something different.
Especially with how they went there. I'm like, it fucking worked. It makes sense. And you felt the gravita when none of the Vangole were around. Again, you guys, you know, have no idea what I'm talking about. I highly recommend you to watch that anime. It's amazing. It got a character that rivals Zoro. It got a character that rivals Sanji.
Is
It
it
got a
dubbed?
character that rivals Luffy when it comes to wackiness and when it comes to funny.
Is it dubbed?
Hmm?
Is it dubbed?
You
Um,
did not just ask you.
it's getting an anime adaptation. Hopefully, I'm not. I
Oh,
don't
that's
know.
right. You just said that.
I don't recommend you to watch it dub. It's sub all the way through.
That's gonna take a while then.
Hey,
My,
I'm
my
watching Slam
man,
Dunk. If I can watch Slam Dunk, you should be able to watch that. And after that, I'm going to watch Trigon, because apparently Trigon is getting a new adaptation.
Trigon's
So,
my man,
amazing.
hmm?
dubs are for dweebs. You know that, right?
Listen, man, I just don't have the time to sit down there and read these words. Like, usually when I'm watching anime, I am also playing video games. So like, yeah, to me, it's a
Dude, focus on one thing. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, I think Omar can relate
I feel I
because we're living
I feel you
in
on that, especially when it comes to rewatches. Big time.
yeah.
yeah, but we're living in the Netherlands, and
I might
I think
initially watch
one of the
uh,
5 countries in the world
after
that
that initial thing. If a dub's available, I'll throw that on if I ever want to rewatch it in the future.
yeah, but we're one of 5 countries in the world think that subtitle all their shit and don't dub it. So we're used to it. It's second nature to us.
And and a lot of times it's just because like I could never. I mean, I jump in occasionally, but like Jesus Christ, watching if I were to start One Piece today, you told me to watch it sub, I'm like, when would I find the time to get through almost 500 plus episodes? And like, and to be fair, like most of the stuff you can just sort of pay attention to and gather what's happening. Um, you just glance up and like Luffy's fighting Kaido. Okay, I don't necessarily know if I need to hear
Like
what they're
I
talking
think
about.
subs are fantastic. There's some like I can't. I honestly
Your mic went out, Jube.
right.
That's what you get for watching dubs.
Yeah, his mic went out. I mean, also it depends on what I watched it in first, because over here, like a lot of us got in. Adult Swim on Cartoon Network was a big factor for a lot of people watching anime. So like Cowboy Bebop, I can't watch it subbed because the first time I ever saw that show wasn't dubbed. So like the voices
Oh,
stick in my head. Or like
oh,
Dragon Ball, which I just hate Goku's voice, so I'd much rather hear him in dub than in his original Japanese voice, and I
I,
can't stand it.
I get that, but you get used to that. But it also I remember with the Dragon Ball because when they broadcast it here over here, there were like 2 dubs that were you had like the Funimation dub and you had the Ocean dub.
Yeah,
Like I think in the Cell Saga somewhere they switched that. Like halfway they switched back and like that's what's fucking annoying. And the Ocean dub was actually pretty good because they had proper voice actors. The Funimation dub always sounded like they had a couple of guys, working in the garage, ad libbing this. It really didn't sound like these professional voice actors.
I totally get it. Like the Yu-Gi-Oh dub is better, but like I only ever watched Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, the Yu-Gi-Oh sub is better, but like I only ever watched Yu-Gi-Oh in dub, so like those voices are stuck to me. But like the actual translations of those words are horrible, and like when you hear them talk, like, wait, what are you saying? That sentence doesn't make sense. But like it legitimately, once I hear it first, it's generally hard for me to switch over to the other side.
I get it, but there, yeah, the problem I mostly have is aside from the quality because they do tend to often dubs that I hear are not great.
Right.
But there's also something lost in translation, like they're either trying to make the sort of make the lips sync a bit to what they're saying, because otherwise you get this uncanny valley thing. But
Yeah.
then they're either like talking really fast, because the Japanese is like very short, and they have to say it in English, but they don't have the time to have to do it very fast, or the other way around, where they have to sort of fill in dead air.
Dead air,
Uh,
yeah, with just like
yeah,
nonsense words.
yeah, like I mean, and yeah, I mean, it might work if it's like taking place in the United States, but like if it's taking place in Japan, I'm like, why are all these people? And then they're like, oh, speak English or like or American, like, no, you're in Japan, you're speaking Japanese.
Yeah. And sometimes they change their name again. Going back to Yu-Gi-Oh, famously, like Joey Wheeler is not his name.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Yeah, like it's just not his name, and he is not from America, nor does he have a New York accent.
It's
But
not.
in the
He's Japanese as fuck.
yeah, but in the American dub, he sounds like he's from Brooklyn. I was like, why do you sound like that?
The only American
dude in Yu-Gi-Oh is Bandit Keith.
It's Bandit Keith, yeah. So like I totally get it. But sometimes but now I can't not hear Joey's voice. Like every time I see him on screen, I hear a New York accent. So it's permanently burned
So
into my brain.
Joey's name is Jono, I actually.
Yeah.
And so I have been
Yeah, it's almost like
actually
John O'Eaton.
listening. So I was listening the entire time to the conversation, and one thing that struck me is, don't hit me for it. Yu-Gi-Oh need a factual adaptation to the manga. Apparently, the
So what?
manga is evil, is dark,
Well,
and
Well,
yeah,
not the first couple of arcs are pretty dark. Like the first Yu-Gi-Oh
yeah.
series ever is Pharaoh's up. He's an ass.
Yeah.
He's not a good guy at all.
yeah,
He
yeah.
wants smoke,
He's
and
sending people to the Shadow Realm.
yeah,
Basically,
he was offing people like for real, for real.
Shadow Realm is basically that, right?
Who?
Yeah, it's hell, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah,
He kills you.
Well, yeah,
and
essentially, yeah, it's
also, he's the ultimate fucking cheater.
oh yeah, his special power is he can stack the deck,
I
of
had
course.
Yeah.
apparently they literally explain it. Heart of the card is basically him having the
Yeah, it's magic.
ability to draw any
Mm,
card he needs when
But
it.
yeah.
it's not just that. The Pharaoh is good at games, period. It
Period.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter what game it is. He has
But
an inherent advantage in any game that he plays.
Yeah.
that's not
Like in
that's
the
not
original
the
and in the anime, they like hint at like the first couple episodes. They hint at it, and like he challenges people to non like because Duel Monsters doesn't show up until a little bit later in the actual series. It's just the Pharaoh challenging people to random games and like cheating, beating them, and then effectively killing them.
I think
Then
after
Yeah,
the
Yugi would pass out. The Pharaoh would come out, and he'd rig the games. The games are rigged.
yeah after what called what do you call that
The only
after
time
the
that backfired really was during the Orichalcos arc, where he lost Yugi's spirit because
af-
the game
af-
was rigged the other way.
after the Yu-Gi-Oh card game got popular, they switched very fast with their tone.
yeah, because in the I believe in the manga, the card game is just another game that the Pharaoh plays,
He was
and
playing
then
dice games. He was playing
yeah,
like
like he's playing
all
a
the
bunch of
games.
games, but and then for some reason people latched onto the card game, and they were like, oh, okay, well I guess we need to just keep riding with this. But like he plays a bunch of games,
That's
and
why the
just
card game isn't called Yu-Gi-Oh. Like it's called Duel Monsters.
yeah,
Like
it's called Duel Monsters. It's
just a
like
game, just a game within the verse that became the most popular game.
popular, yeah,
It's crazy because I never knew that he would literally kill people. Not only that, it's Bakura. Okay, apparently Bakura literally ripped what's his name? Tebete's eye out and even licked the blood. Like, dude.
yeah. They cut that part and just make it look like he
Yeah,
just
I
lost
mean,
the Duel
even
Monsters battle.
even what the fuck was his name? The big bad from Battle City arc. Um,
Uh,
Keith? Keith?
no, not Keith.
no,
What is
the
his
fuck is
name?
his name? The evil nigga.
I don't know.
Wow, I
The
can't
evil
remember
nigga
his
with the Super
name.
Saiyan haircut, like with the Super Saiyan trunks haircut. What the fuck is
Yeah,
his name? Merrick.
Merrick. There we go.
Yeah,
Yes.
like his story is dark as fuck too. Like the whole like he got inscriptions like carved on his back with like a dagger and shit. Like it's just awful.
And you can
Like
sort of
this.
tell that like because like Merrick and Bakura are supposed to also be have the same energy as the Pharaoh, but they tone the Pharaoh
Yeah,
down. So it's like
yeah,
these two dudes are kind of crazy, and the Pharaoh's just kind of nice. Like no, they're all three like the same person. They just
yeah.
have
They're all three
different.
sadistic as fuck. And then you
Yeah,
got you got that arc. You got that arc where they got teleported to the past and we're fighting like the real Bakura.
yeah. It's like oh wait, but I think that's like all of them. Like because Pokemon has a lot of has death in it in the
Dude,
actual
don't get
manga.
me started on Pokemon. Can you imagine if PlayStation got the IP for Pokemon and created their own game?
They would ruin it.
Excuse me?
They would ruin it. Pokemon didn't sell Pokemon isn't one of the biggest entertainment industries in the planet because it's more like realistic. Like there's a reason why it's massive.
There's a reason why the Cut Corner is as well.
All I'm
They
saying is Pokemon, you name me a franchise, a first party franchise that sold more than Pokemon from any of the other two.
No, I don't think any. Not even on Xbox One or PlayStation.
I'm just saying.
I'm
Like
getting also. I am
kids
getting this.
kids like to collect stuff. Like and that's cool.
I'm
Let
getting
them
this
collect.
year. I'm getting this year Pokemon game. Are you guys hearing the cutting?
No.
Give me a second. Listen. Now?
I heard it when you did it.
Okay, so I need to walk to back away. Cause I'm cutting what's called potatoes. Cause I need to make food, but I still want to continue the conversation cause I'm having lots of fun. It's called teamwork. It's called what's called multitasking. Um, so what did you say about One Piece, Zero? I was listening, but I couldn't. I was not listening because I needed to grab my stuff. Can you repeat that?
I don't know what I said about One Piece.
You said if One Piece started today, would you be able to watch it or catch up to
Oh,
it
the
or what?
subtitles. I wouldn't have the time to watch it in subtitles.
Interesting.
Like because the way I look at it is for
How do you
every
watch
20
though? How do you watch? Do you watch while eating? Cause that's what I do.
I watch when
I
I'm playing video games.
how?
I one either
Nah,
depending on the game I'm playing. Like
nah,
if I'm playing Destiny, Destiny is
nah,
like muscle memory. I don't need to pay much attention to it.
nah. Don't you need? How? No way.
I watch
How?
most of my TV while playing video games.
How? Yo, Jube, am I wilding here? I listen to podcasts while gaming. Yeah, fair point. Watching anime? How do you watch? I'm lost for words. I'm flabbergasted. Yo,
I mean, it's simple.
um, Weeb, you ever done this?
Maybe,
Maybe.
but like,
Okay.
well, maybe that I was playing on the Switch or something and had TV on.
Yeah, you
I
get me,
can
weeb.
I can understand a mobile game where they are literally doing exposition stuff that's boring, but genuinely playing video games while watching anime? How do you follow the story? Oh, because it's English. But don't you need to watch cut fights,
I mean,
or you don't care much about fights?
gonna be honest here. The best, most anime have okay fights, not
Mm.
absolutely great. Like most anime don't have any things where I actually need to pay a lot of attention, like Demon Slayer.
Mm.
Um, but like I watch a lot of TV and a lot of anime, so like a lot of them kind of run the same beat. So if I don't need to watch every scene of like Usopp versus the Arlong pirates. I sort of get what's gonna happen and what is happening, or like with Zoro fighting Pika. I was like, I can kind of see. Also, like as I'm
Wait,
playing on two
is that
screens,
not
so
one
like
of the most epic things to watch? Fighting Pika, how he could defeat people and stuff like that?
I mean I wouldn't count it. Like I think Rob Lucci versus Luffy is better than that fight.
Fair point, but that main character fight, this is not the main character.
Yeah, so like or like Nami versus CP9. It's like it's there. I can see, like I see it, and like I'm not, but I don't think I'm miss. If I turn my head away for a little bit, I don't think I'm missing anything crucial.
Hmm. You watch anime totally different than me. When I watch anime is when I'm eating, so my focus is always on the anime. I'm not gonna be able to
I mean,
watch
it
anime
depends.
while playing video game. That doesn't fit well for me. It almost feels like I I have had moments where I'm actually watching playing on my phone for a second, and I miss out on crucial information where I needed to go back or even backtrack with the subtitles because they were too bad for me, and I needed to make sure that I'm not missing out on anything. When I'm watching anime, I'm madly invested in the anime. This is why I'm so passionate about almost every anime I watch. If I'm not passionate about the anime, then it means that I already dropped it. Like for example, Fairy Tail. Used to be passionate about it until stuff happened and then I dropped it. I couldn't get behind uh, the way the author was letting character down. It, which is why I'm still waiting on consequences for Gear 5 from Oda, and I think it's coming. And I think Green Ball is gonna be the catalyst for him stealing Robin, and they're gonna need to go get her back. And then we may find out that Sabo got kidnapped or something like that, and then you need to save him as well. Also, final question: do you think Yamato joining? Yes or no?
Yes.
Jubei,
Yeah, I think that's a good.
Weeb.
I said yes.
Okay. Zero.
Yeah, I guess so.
Uh,
Even though the numbers are going to be off now.
okay. And the final question: which long pause anime are you watching right now? Starting with you, Weeb.
Which long form anime?
Yeah,
What you mean, like One Piece, or
yeah,
I
something
was like,
you would
what's
long?
on the
what's
level of
longer than
One
One
Piece
Piece?
that long. Like for example, Hunter x Hunter, or like for example, I'm watching what's called uh, Slam Dunk. After it, I will watch Trigon, and then uh, Hajime no Ippo. Which one long anime are you currently watching, or am I the only one doing so?
Trigon isn't
Well,
long, no.
no,
I never
indeed.
watched Trigon, so I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's just
Also,
a
should
too
I watch
cool anime.
Trigon or wait for the anime for the new anime adaptation?
The original one's great.
Yeah.
Y-
The new, yeah, it does deviate from the manga, so I expect the new one to be more faithful. So you can perfectly just watch them next to each other. It's not
I
like
Yeah.
would do
you're
so,
watching the same thing.
and just for myself, because I have a lot of things to watch. I usually enjoy watching anime where either I'm eating or just watching anime. Like I used to be so invested in Detective Conan. Like every single movie used to be almost like what's called um, an epic theater for me, a spectacle. But when I realized every single movie is a filler and nothing of consequence is ever gonna happen, that's when I was lost interest. And after the final arc that I watched, which was the train arc, where it was epic canon, and then I didn't see any consequences from it, I gave up on the anime. Cause
Yeah.
the anime is literally over 1,000 episodes and 800 of it is filler. I'm not joking.
I know it's really drawn out for they're drawing it so long, the reveal of who's the boss. I mean, it's
Did they
yeah,
reveal
it's
who the
stupid.
boss is?
I don't think they have done so
Uh,
formally.
did did uh, did Conan tell Rin that he is Conan?
I don't know.
Yeah, precisely. That's my issue. There
Uh,
is zero moving forward, which is why I'm happy to pick up Attack on Titan when the final season drop. Then I have 3 seasons to back. Oh no, no, no! I need to start watching from the beginning of the transcript arc, and I still need to watch My Villain Academia and read the manga for that part, because apparently, according to Jubei and others, they butchered that with the anime. Okay, I can't comprehend how you do that when you have fucking Demon Slayer doing that their thing. And apparently, the ending of Demon Slayer is lackluster. So I'm curious how the manga, I mean the manga is Demon Slayer lackluster. So I'm curious how the anime going to do that part. Would
I
you
don't
agree
know
or
if it,
disagree, Jubei, that the manga of Demon Slayer was lackluster?
Um, nah, why would the manga be lackluster?
I
What you mean?
heard it was genuinely lackluster.
I
Lot of
mean,
fans.
you heard. I own it.
You
So
own
you
it.
heard. I bought the
Gotcha.
box set. I wouldn't have bought the box set if it was trash.
Gotcha. With that
yeah,
being said,
I don't agree either. It's I mean
There's
it's
a
going.
reason. There's a reason the manga was as popular as it was, and why the
Uh,
show. I mean, without the manga, there'd be no fucking show. So I mean,
mm,
uh, I mean, I read it too.
realistically,
I
what's up?
don't think it was just. I mean, I read the manga too, so I don't think it ended lackluster. It just, I mean, I think probably what if people were disappointed is that it wasn't drawn out longer than it needed to be.
Yeah. I mean, it has it has an ending. Like, it's not supposed to be like
Yeah.
One Piece where it just fucking perpetually goes. Like, there's a plan. You know what I'm saying? There's
Mhm.
30-ish volumes. It's done. It's a wrap.
gotcha. With that being said, let's get into the outros. Weep, where people can find you.
You can find me on Twitter as the Weep Sheriff, at Infinite Rhizome, and on YouTube as Blue Rhizome.
Gotcha. Jubei, where people can find you. Thank you.
Okay. You can find me at Jubei X Sensei on gaming platforms. Um, I am the Hoochie Poppy on Twitter. Um, Jubei Sensei everywhere else. If you happen to find me, all my other socials will be there. You can also find me. I may or may not be pirating PS2 games on a Steam Deck. So
Zero, where people can find you.
Zero.exe pretty much everywhere. Yeah, I'll be around just enjoying life, reading manga while watching. Watching anime while playing video games.
By the way, am I the only one that called anime anime?
Yes,
I
yep,
used to
that is
say
you.
I've never heard.
anime anime because I thought as anime in English, but okay. Um, before I end the show, Jubei and Zero, are you doing your own showcase for the Bethesda showcase?
I am not.
Would you
It's
not be
this
joined
Sunday,
by?
right? It's this Sunday, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's literally
I Yeah, I
tomorrow.
don't know where I'll be.
After
I
tomorrow.
possi I possibly can. I just don't know where I'll be.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Jubei?
Yeah, my overlay shit just got finished being made. I'm gonna probably spend Saturday getting that shit set up. So, um, I would like to do a show or a reaction show or whatever, but I don't know what you guys are up to. So, I mean, I'm down, but I'm down and available during the show. So I'll leave it at that.
I wanna join mine? Cause I'm doing uh live reaction to the showcase
Absolutely.
on Game Player. You can be a guest.
Yeah, that'll work. I'll be there.
Zero, you're also welcome and go ahead and let Pharaoh know he is also welcome.
Will do.
Yep.
All three of you have access to my Discord, I think. Yeah, Pharaoh was invited. Pharaoh
Is
was
it is
there.
it is it going to be in this Discord? It's in
Sorry?
this one.
Yeah. I don't have any. I
It's
don't
in.
have any Discord. This is Game Player. I have
So
only
it's in the one we're using right now.
Sorry?
The Discord for that will be in the one we're using right now.
Yeah. It's only Game Player.
Okay.
Game Player is meant for Game Player and Anime Squad. That's it. I have no other Discord. So you should be able
Gotcha.
to just join in and join in.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah. Then see you tomorrow. With that being said, shout out to everyone that came through. A great conversation. Um, really wished what's his name, Dark Link was here. Too bad he didn't come through, but he was sick, so wish him the best. Mm, with that being said, shout out to everyone again that came through. This was a great conversation, and I wish you all a great day. See you next week when we're gonna cover One Piece, and then they're gonna go break for almost a month. So what do you guys wanna do? You wanna guys talk about anime and stuff like that for a whole month, or do you wanna take a break? Up to you guys.
Um, I mean, I'm cool with whatever. I'm just excited for Sunday because I get another chapter of My Hero. So
Oh, okay.
that'll
I
be
thought
that'll
that
be
you're
how I
excited
start my
for
day.
Sunday because of the Basetta. Okay, let me ask you. Basetta Showcase or My Hero? Go.
My Hero will be at 7 a.m. So that's how I will start my day.
So, if you had to choose between one, Showcase plus Basetta or My Hero, which one would you
Oh, I'm,
prioritize?
I'm picking the showcase. I'm picking the showcase.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah,
I
yeah.
I I get done with I get done with the My Hero chapters in like 7 minutes. So
Mm-hmm.
it's
No. If you had to choose one for the day, which one would you rather do? Watch
oh
the Basetta
oh the
Showcase?
showcase.
Okay, the
Yeah, the
Showcase.
showcase.
Okay, gotcha. Um, great show, great conversation, and see you again next week.